Welcome to Heart Speak Podcast, episode 62 plus 3. Well, here we are. It's the new moon. So you went through your first dark moon day yesterday, hopefully letting go, letting go of everything you thought was structured, identified, reality. This is how it's going to be for the rest of my life. All those plans out the window. It's funny because I've been listening to different people speak about the times and what we're going through. And when it comes to the questions, everybody says, so that's all very well. So when's it going to end? What's going to happen? Can you guarantee me a job? Can you guarantee it's all going to be fine? And when Pluto's around, Pluto is the dark goddess. She is the queen of the underworld. She's just like Lilith and Kali. She's saying, nope, no guarantees. And you're saying, what? So this is a time where we are really facing a time that perhaps we should have been facing earlier, but this is a time where we're saying, no guarantees. And the only guarantee that I'm going to give you is that you are loved. And you might say, doesn't feel very loving now. And I'm saying to you is, believe me, you're part of the Great Mother. You're part of the Godhead, whatever you want to call him, her, but you are not alone in this. And not alone in the misery or the fear. You're not alone. You're being taken into a new way of being. And all of you, all have guides, all have spirit lovers, all have ancestral carers, whatever you want to call them, angels, ETs, guides, nobody's alone. And that's a question I get asked so often. Have I got any guides? Oh my goodness, you should see how many people love you. And what they're trying to help us all individually is to take our fingers off the edge of the cliff and say, let go, trust. And you say, well, what if I get the virus? I could die. Well, yes, that could happen. I don't know what the next stage of your life is. But what I can say is holding on tight is not the solution. Because when we hold on tight, we're holding on through fear. We're not recognizing that there's a bigger journey ahead of us. No guarantees, my friends. And you may say, well, can't you guarantee anything? Yes, I can guarantee you're loved. I can guarantee you're not alone. I can guarantee that when you call in your spirit friends, your ETs, whatever you want to call them, they're there for you. But they're not there to make guarantees or make your life safe. They're there to help that you will expand as you are meant to do at this time to be the fullness of who you are. Whether that is however long that lasts. So this amazing new moon, I can't believe more people aren't just talking about this. Yesterday we had Mars and Pluto conjunct next to each other, the masculine, the feminine. The masculine saying, but I've created all these structures. Why on earth would I allow you, Pluto, big volcano, to come and destroy them? And she's saying, I'm coming because I don't want you to die not knowing that you're much more than you think you are at this time. I love you so much, I will not let you be less than you are. So if you've been creating tiny little sandcastles, believing that they're magnificent, you should see what we can really create. You should see our full potential that's coming alive in our brains, in our DNA. Like, oh my goodness, if only you could see who you truly are. Not how you are going to achieve something, but the magnificence of who you are. The person who's had many lifetimes, died many lifetimes, born many lifetimes. Move on from the death and the birth. Be the magnificence that you are. How's that sound? So today is why I'm talking about magnificence, because now Jupiter, 1,000 times bigger than the Earth, is conjunct with Pluto. So she is saying, break free of limitations, expand yourself through death and rebirth, or just through death. Die to those old structures, Capricorn. Die to those old identities. Oh my goodness, you should see who you really are. And please don't then say, yes, but how? Or will you guarantee this? No, just recognize that there's no part of you that wants to be small anymore. There's no part of you that's saying, oh, but not me, I'm just little. Stop the stories, stop the excuses. And I'm laughing with you as I laugh about myself. Years ago, I was between jobs, and I can remember sitting, playing with this little piece of cotton that was on the ground. Obviously, my mind was somewhere else, but I was pushing this piece of cotton around. And I heard my guide say, do you want to play with that piece of cotton all your life, or do you want to see the universe? And it was like such a metaphor for these times. Do you want to just be totally caught up in little things, or do you want to experience yourself far greater than you've ever experienced before? That doesn't mean leaving this planet. It's the planet is expanding. She wants to become her perfected state. She's saying, I don't want to be small anymore. So riding her waves, surfing the waves of change with her is the best way of building yourself. You may not know where you're going, but if she's going, I'm going to be rooted into her and I'm going to travel with her. Yes? So, yes, Jupiter, Pluto, I'm reading in certain astrology books that there's going to be many, many more deaths. And that is certainly true. We're in a crisis. But the deaths that we want to see happen are the deaths within ourselves of our smallness, the deaths within ourselves of identities that make us feel inadequate, fearful, out of control. Pluto is saying, get back into your power. And in 2008, when Pluto went into Capricorn, we saw the collapse of the financial markets, the housing markets, etc., etc. And that should have been the time when we said, everything has to change. Oh my goodness, why are we trying to build castles or give people home and security when really we need to be transforming how we live together, how we live, how we make money. But oh no, what did we do? We shored up the industries, the banks, we gave money to, we supported things instead of saying, wow, this is an amazing time for transformation. Let's go for it. That's what's happening now. I knew this would happen because Pluto is in Capricorn until 2022, 23. She hasn't finished. She's saying, you didn't listen then. Now I'm coming along, and everything that gives you security, rules, Capricorn, is going to be transformed. Whether it's the church, the financial markets, the governments, the housing, our work. Does that mean, oh, I won't have any work? No, it means stop defining yourself by your work. Stop defining yourself by your religion. Stop defining yourself as a particular gender. Who cares? When everybody tells me, oh, you need to see me in this way or that, why? You're so much more than any of that. And we are in this place, and I know I've spoken about this before, where artificial intelligence is coming in. I know I spoke about this, but just to realize that this was always going to be a transformational time where we are defining ourselves as humans in a way we've never defined ourselves before, because now machines can take over some of the things that we have been doing. Now, I don't want to go down that journey today, but just recognize that everything that we thought was solid is up for grabs. It's like put it in the fire. If it's gold, it will be there afterwards. If not, let it burn. And just keep saying, burn away everything that is not in harmony with my soul. Burn away everything that doesn't allow me to be big. Are you excited? I hope so. No guarantees. I know you might be saying yes, but how long do I have to do this for? I don't know, because we are creating a new world. We do not want to live in that old world anymore. We keep trying the same things and it doesn't work. That's the concept of stupidity. We don't want wars. I mean, wars have never worked. Ownership has never worked. We have to be able to say, hey, there's a new paradigm out there, a new way of doing things. And I want to be at the forefront of this. I want to be one of the visionaries. I want to be one of the innovators. So then that brings me to this other side of this new moon. New moon is in Aries. So if you don't know, that's the moon and the sun are both in Aries. Aries, new beginnings, new start, hero. Let's do something new. We always say about Aries, great starters, lousy finishers. Get bored. Oh, let's go and do something else new. Let's go and do something else new. The reason why it's Aries is because this is springtime in the Northern Hemisphere. And astrology was set up in the Northern Hemisphere. So that this is a time of newness, and I can see it in my garden. I could see it if there were lambs around. I can see it on the catkins and all the things that are showing me the earth is saying, new time, daffodils. And despite what's going on our planet, the daffodils are coming up, the blossoms are on the trees. Nature is saying, we're in rhythm with what's going on. What happened to you? Because we've got stuck. We're challenged by new things. We stay with the old. If you think of your family, how many times are we just doing what the family always did? What are the new ideas that your family are? Well, we go, wow, where did that come from? Be different. Do not be your ancestors. Your ancestors don't want you to be them. And alongside the moon and the sun being in Aries, we've also got Chiron in Aries. What is Chiron? Chiron is the wound. The woundedness. Where are we wounded? We're wounded in starting new things. We're wounded in going to war against ourselves. Let me put it that way. Hey, let's go to war. Let's beat up on ourselves. That's a woundingness. Where are we not innovating? Where are we just keep creating more dependency, more need for other people to tell us what to do? Aries is about the hero. It's about the little person, I always think of a little boy who goes off and, hey, I'm going to discover the world. Doesn't ask anybody else. It's just like that courage that you have inside you. So where's your courage to start something new, to be the innovator for your family? Let's not do it the old way. This is the healing of this wound. Where have we lost our courage? Where have we asked someone else to tell us what to do? Where have we caught up with insurances saying, oh, please, can I have a guarantee that if I don't get it right, I can come back? There's no guarantees. Heal your wound of fear, of anxiety. Anxiety is stay where you are. Nothing will ever bad will happen if we all just stay where we are. Well, look what's happening. Everything is crumbling, but from within. Have a courage to say, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know if I'll survive, but it's got to be better than where I am. Sound good? And the last part of this is Lilith. I love Lilith. Lilith is a dark goddess. She is very much like Kali, Mary Magdalene, Ereshkigal. And Lilith was originally the first wife of Adam. And Adam said, hey, good, now wife, lie under me. And she said, I'm not lying under you. And she went off to the desert. But she's much older than even the stories of Adam and Eve in many ways. And Lilith is the part of us that is sexual, yes, but sexuality, the sexual fire, is actually the fire of unification. So when we have sex, then what we're doing is wanting to unify with ourselves. And women carry that unification energy. We're magnetic. So we draw into ourselves those things that we then unify. Women want to unify. They want community. All right? What Lilith is the part of us that got separated from that unification. Understand? So she's your power. She's your dark force. She's your creative power. And she's in everybody, men, women. And we got separated from her because we feared her power. What is her power? Very similar to Pluto. The power to bring about transformation. And when people say to me, oh, I do transformation, I go, oh, so you do death? They go, oh, no, I just do rebirth. I don't do death. Basically, death says there are no guarantees. Lilith is saying, are you willing to cut away your beliefs, your need for security in order to become whole? Lilith in Aries is saying, time to be independent, but not independent as in alone, no more social distancing, but more, are you willing to be self-accountable? Are you willing to engage your own courage? Are you willing to engage your own intuition and follow it? Are you excited by doing something like that? And Lilith has these wonderful stories, which I'll finish with today. Lilith is seen in the Sumerian legends, if you read the story of Inanna and her descent into the underworld. So Inanna had a plan. That's what we're talking about. We all have plans. So Inanna was the goddess or the queen of the heavens in Sumerian legends. And she had this great plan that she would be the queen and she'd have a throne and she'd have a bed. And that would be her marriage bed and her queenly bed, etc. So she took this tree out of the river meaning chaos. She took a tree, she created a structure out of the chaos, planted the tree in her garden and said, this will be my throne, this will be my tree, the wood for my bed. And then come her teenage years, she grows up, she's a teenager, she sees that Lilith, the owl and the serpent, have taken over her tree. In other words, when we go through those teenage years, everything gets chaotic, doesn't it? And we all get shaken around and it all becomes terribly edgy. Well, Inanna wasn't willing or ready to take on board this sort of wild serpent energy and these eyes that could see right through anybody. So she asked her brother to cut down the tree, and Lilith got cut in half, the serpent disappeared into the desert, the owl flew off. So where did you cut down your own Lilith? Where have you denied your sexual power, creative power, the power to not just perhaps destroy other people, but to destroy yourself? Call your Lilith home. Tell her and say, I give you full permission to burn away anything that is not fully me. That's what you're asking her. Come back. And then she's going to see you with her eyes and she's going to say, what are you doing there? Where are you hiding? Use the eyes not only to see through other people's charades, but through your own. Okay, so the story goes on and Lilith is dispersed and Inanna is now the queen of the heavens, and she's very happy. She's got a throne and she's got her bed. And all of a sudden, she realizes that even though she has everything she always wanted, there's something missing. She has her 2.2 children, she has a husband, she has all these realms that she's queen of. And this is called a dark night of the soul. I'm sure you've been there, where you have everything and suddenly you realize you're dead inside. That's the story I tell about me leading general practice. I had everything and I was dead inside. And so what does she do? She says, oh, I think I'll go and visit my ugly sister who I hate, Ereshkigal, who is her dark, the queen of the underworld. She's the queen of the heavens. And she said, I'll go and visit her and console her because she's lost her husband. And that's what we often do. It's like, oh, well, I'll dip my foot in death, but I won't go there myself. So she goes and knocks on the door of Ereshkigal, the underworld, and she says, hi, sister. You know, I've come to visit you. And Ereshkigal doesn't trust her one bit. Really, this is Lilith Ereshkigal combined. And Ereshkigal says, what is that nasty piece of work? I could give a bigger word, but want from me. And Inanna said, oh, I'm just your little sister who's come to visit. And Ereshkigal says to the gatekeeper, please take a piece of her clothing from each of the 7 gates through which she's going to descend. And Inanna, who thinks she's the bee's knees and got all the answers, says, why should I do that? And Ereshkigal says, the ways of the underworld are not to be tested. And I want you to hear that. Whatever you may want, wherever you're trying to hold on, stop asking questions. Trust your heart. Trust this journey into the underworld. Don't try and define it. Don't even tell people. Don't say, well, I'm doing it this way, because if you define it, you've already limited it. Trust the journey to meet your deep power, because that's what lives in the underworld. Not some fire and damnation, not some hell, but Pluto. Pluto means your gems, your power. Go and reclaim your power. Meet your darkest self. The thing that you're most scared of. Oh, I couldn't do that to anybody. I'm such a nice person. Get over it. Whatever you judge in others is what you judge in yourself. If you judge others for being powerful or wicked or destructive, you're seeing your mirror. If you fear being any of that, you're seeing your mirror. Own your power, because only when you own it can you master it and make choices how you're going to use that energy. Then you can make it, as I say, like putting a clothes in a closet. You can choose to bring that power out and use it today or not. This is a time to own our power, stop being seductive, secretive, shameful. While we continue to do that, everything will continue to be corrupt and insidious and abusive. If when we own our power and say, I will not hide in the shadows anymore, we say everybody, be it governments or religions, will have to do the same. There, that was a big statement. So today, whatever you're doing, don't get too caught up in, I've got to do all of this because Christine tells me. Just recognize, I am ready to be all that I am. I am reconnecting to everything I am. This is the meaning of the new moon. I reconnect through your feet, root yourself into Mother Earth, reconnect to your heart, to your inner soul, and reconnect to spirit in the different ways in which you connect to spirit, whether it's angels or guides, etc. So you connect to this total package of who you are, and just know all is well. And we are on a wonderful transition period where, as long as we stay in our center, back towards ourselves, we will all move through this. And we are the creators of the new world, and we do not want to create from the old place. Be in your power, heal your wound of inadequacy or inactivity, and bring Lilith back into your being and say, I am powerful. No more secrets, no more shame, no more abuse. Until tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Heart Speak podcast with Dr. Christine Page. Remember to check out other episodes in the podcast archive section on www.christinepage.com. And do share with friends, family, and colleagues. Join us next time for another edition of Heart Speak.